Recorded Books Incorporated presents an unabridged recording of The Devil Soldier by Caleb Carr, narrated by George Wilson. This work, copyrighted 1992 by Caleb Carr, is recorded by arrangement with International Creative Management Incorporated. This recording is copyrighted 1995 by Recorded Books Incorporated. In 1859, the Chinese authorities of Shanghai were faced with an approaching rebel army, a hugely powerful group of quasi-Christian mystics calling themselves the Tai Pings. Cornered, they looked to the local Western population for help in defending the city. It was at this crucial stage of the Tai Ping Rebellion, the most bloody and destructive civil war the world has ever suffered, that American Frederick Townsend Ward stepped forward as a man able and willing to take history into his own hands. And now, The Devil Soldier.
Prologue. Across the Sea to Fight for China. In the summer of 1900, an expeditionary force of European, Japanese, and American soldiers marched into the Chinese capital of Peking, the triumphant blare of their bands and bugles announcing not only the conclusion of a successful campaign, but the effective end of thousands of years of imperial rule in China. The last of the Middle Kingdom's dynasties, the Manchu, or Qing, had withstood internal and external threats throughout the 19th century, and would hold on for 11 more years before a tide of Republican revolution would engulf it completely. But all hope of recovery was in fact lost when the Western and Japanese troops entered Peking and its sacrosanct Forbidden City, the inner compound guarded by high walls that for centuries had been the residence of China's rulers. The violation of the Forbidden City by barbarian foreigners stripped the Manchus of any legitimate right to rule in the eyes of many Chinese, and the imperial clique was finally seen for what it was, an arrogant, corrupt group of anachronisms, whose sumptuous world of silk dragons, peacock's feathers, and divine rule had no place in the 20th century. The Western and Japanese governments had ordered the march on Peking because a group of anti-foreign Chinese extremists, known as the Boxers, under orders from the Empress Dowager Cixi, had laid siege to their diplomatic legations and attempted to kill their ministers. The attack on the legations was a stupendously rash act, the crowning achievement of an imperial elite that had spent the last half-century trying to stem the advance of foreign influence in China and preserve the empire in its near-medieval state. All such efforts had been in vain. The barbarian outsiders had finally pried China open to foreign trade, foreign religion, and foreign political ideas. The bitter Cixi had meant to make the foreign devils pay for their success when she authorized the attack on the legations in June 1900. But the Western diplomats and their families had once again frustrated her by bravely withstanding the siege. When the multinational relief column marched into Peking in July, Cixi fled in disgrace, taking with her the last chance of imperial resurgence. In the conflict between unreasoning Chinese pride and relentless foreign commercial and philosophical expansionism that had raged for 60 years, there seemed to be no middle ground, and now Chinese pride had lost the long battle. Yet there had once been such a middle ground in the Middle Kingdom, or at least the possibility of it. For the briefest moments during the 1860s, the imperial government in Peking, as well as the foreign powers, had gotten a glimpse of a China in which progressive Western ideas, particularly military ideas, would be placed at the service of the emperor and his ministers to ensure the empire's survival and participation in a rapidly changing world. Unfortunately,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?